The small research station sat alone on the edge of Earth's solar system. Inside, Lieutenant Adam Clark rubbed his tired eyes and stared at the blinking screen. For 3 days, the same strange signal had been coming from deep space. It did not match any known pattern. Still getting that weird signal? Dr. Olivia Martinez asked as she floated into the room. The zero-gravity section of the station was her favorite place to work. Adam nodded. It's getting stronger. Whatever it is, it's getting closer. Olivia pushed herself to the monitor. Her dark hair floated around her face like a halo. Have you told Earth Command yet? Not yet. I wanted to be sure it wasn't just space noise. Adam tapped a few keys. But look at this pattern. It repeats exactly every 47 seconds. Nature doesn't do that. The signal suddenly changed. The regular pattern broke into a complex sequence that made both humans freeze. That's a response to our scanning signal, Olivia whispered. Adam, I think we just made first contact. Across the galaxy, Commander Zekthar of the Silveri Confederation stood on the bridge of his ship. His 4 eyes blinked in sequence as he studied the primitive space station on the view screen. They have detected us, his second-in-command reported. Their technology is simple, but they responded to our scan. Zekthar's skin rippled with blue patterns, a sign of deep thought among his kind. The Council has monitored this planet for decades. These humans are violent, territorial creatures. Their history is filled with war and killing their own kind, yet they show remarkable intelligence. Should we destroy their station? The weapons officer asked. It would be simple. Zekthar considered this. The Confederation had strict rules about new species. Those who might one day threaten galactic peace were often removed before they could leave their home systems. No, he decided. The Council wants more information. We will take the humans and study them. A bright light filled the research station. Adam tried to reach the emergency beacon, but his body wouldn't move. Beside him, Olivia was frozen in place, her eyes wide with fear. 3 days later, Adam woke up in a strange room with smooth walls that glowed softly. Olivia was in a clear tube next to him, still sleeping. The walls around them were covered with moving images of Earth, wars, nuclear tests, environmental destruction. A door that wasn't there before suddenly appeared, and a tall figure entered. It had gray-blue skin that seemed to shine with its own light. Its 4 eyes blinked at different times as it studied Adam. You are awake, the alien said in perfect English. I am Velnera, lead researcher for the Silveri Confederation. You and your planet are now under investigation. Adam tried to stay calm. Why have you taken us? We meant no harm. That is what we need to determine, Velnera said. Your species' history suggests otherwise. You kill each other over resources, beliefs, and territory. The Council must decide if humans can be allowed to join the galactic community, or if you present too great a risk. In another part of the ship, Commander Zekthar watched a soldier try to take a blood sample from the sleeping human female. The soldier's hand shook as he brought the needle close to her skin. I cannot, Commander, the soldier said, stepping back. His breathing was fast, and his skin had turned pale green. When I try to pierce her skin, my body refuses. I feel sick. Zekthar had seen this happen 3 times now. Take a break. Send in the medical droid instead. Later, in the command center, Zekthar reviewed the reports with growing concern. It happens with all of them, Velnera explained. Our people experience severe distress when attempting to harm the humans directly. Heart rates increase, muscles lock up, nausea sets in. We're calling it inhibition. How is this possible? Zekthar asked. We don't know yet, but it appears to be stronger with direct contact. The more personal the interaction, the stronger the effect. Zekthar looked at the hologram of Earth spinning slowly in front of them. The Council must know about this. A species we cannot easily control is a species we must fear. Or understand. Velnera suggested quietly. As alarms began to sound throughout the ship, Adam helped Olivia stand. Something was happening. Through the clear walls of their room, they could see aliens running in the corridors. "What's going on?" Olivia asked. Adam pointed to a large screen where a fleet of ships was appearing. "I think their friends have arrived, and they don't look happy to see us." Captain Frank Donovan squinted at the radar screen. Something big had just entered Earth's orbit, but it wasn't showing up on regular tracking systems. "Kate, are you seeing this?" he called to his partner. Lieutenant Kate Walsh nodded, her fingers flying over the keyboard. "Whatever it is, it's using some kind of cloaking technology. NASA headquarters isn't picking it up at all." They were alone in the small monitoring station, miles from anywhere in the Arizona desert. Their job was to watch for unusual activity in Earth's orbit, like the strange radar shadow that was now moving across their screens. "We need to alert command," Frank said, reaching for the secure phone. Before his hand touched it, the room filled with bright blue light. Frank felt his body freeze in place. Through the window, he could see a large ship appearing in the night sky, like a dark cloud blocking the stars. When Frank woke up, he was lying on a cold metal table. Strange devices hung above him. Kate was on a similar table nearby, still unconscious. They were in a large room with walls that seemed to glow with their own light. A door slid open, and a tall blue-gray alien walked in. It had 4 eyes that blinked at different times. "I am Valnera," the alien said in perfect English. "You are on a Silveri research vessel. We apologize for taking you without permission, but it was necessary for our studies." Frank tried to sit up, but found he was held down by an invisible force. "What do you want with us?" "To understand," Valnera said simply, "your species presents us with a unique problem." Over the next few days, Frank and Kate were subjected to various tests. The aliens never harmed them, but they took samples, scanned their bodies, and showed them images to record their reactions. Frank noticed something strange. Whenever the aliens tried to perform any test that might cause pain, they seemed unable to complete it. Their hands would shake, they would step back, and sometimes they would even leave the room suddenly. One day, as Valnera was attempting to take a small skin sample from Kate's arm, her hand trembled so badly she dropped the tool. "Why can't you do it?" Kate asked, watching the alien's distress. Valnera's skin changed color slightly. "We call it the inhibition. Something about your species makes it extremely difficult for us to cause you direct harm. The closer we are to you, the worse it becomes. That's why you use machines for the painful tests." Frank realized. "Yes," Valnera admitted. "Direct contact is almost impossible." Later, Frank and Kate were returned to their holding room. Through the clear walls, they could see other aliens arguing in a large meeting room across the hall. "That one seems angry," Kate whispered, pointing to a tall alien with dark plates covering parts of its body. "Commander Drakmor leads the Purifier faction," a voice said behind them. They turned to see Valnera watching them. "He believes your species is too dangerous to be allowed to develop further." "What does that mean?" Frank asked. "The Confederation has rules about emerging species. Those deemed too aggressive are sometimes contained." Kate stepped forward. "You mean destroyed?" Valnera didn't answer directly. "The Purifiers want to use automated weapon systems against your planet. Machines don't experience the inhibition." "Why are you telling us this?" Frank asked. "Because I believe there's more to the inhibition than we understand, and I need your help to prove it before the Council makes their final decision." In the meeting room, Drakmor slammed his fist on the table. "These humans have caused more damage to their own planet in a century than most species do in 1,000 years. They kill each other over territory and resources. They build weapons that could destroy their entire civilization. Yet they also create art, music, and stories." Commander Zekthar argued. "They care for their young and old. They show empathy not just to their own kind, but to other species on their planet." "Empathy." Drakmor spat the word. "A weakness we cannot afford in the galaxy." Or perhaps a strength we have forgotten, Velnera said, entering the room. I have a theory about the inhibition. I believe humans generate some kind of empathic field. It causes us to feel what they would feel if we harmed them. Then we use machines, Drakmor said. The Council has already approved preliminary scans of their military capabilities. Soon we will know exactly how to contain them. As he spoke, Frank and Kate exchanged looks. They needed to escape and warn Earth. But how could two humans possibly escape from an advanced alien ship? The answer came to them that night when Velnera entered their room with a small device in her hand. I've made a decision, she said quietly. I'm going to help you escape. This device will help us move through the ship without being detected, Velnera explained, showing Frank and Kate a small silver object. We must reach the shuttle bay before the next shift change. Why are you helping us? Frank asked, still suspicious. Velnera's 4 eyes blinked slowly. Because I've discovered something important about humans. The inhibition isn't just a strange reaction. It's a two-way connection between our species. She showed them her research on a small screen. Humans generate an empathic field that most other intelligent species can sense. When we try to harm you, we feel what you would feel. The pain, the fear, everything. That's why you can't hurt us directly, Kate said, understanding. Yes, and I believe this field is strongest in those with high empathy. It evolved as a defense mechanism for your species. Velnera looked at her screen again. The Purifiers plan to destroy Earth using automated weapons. We must warn your people. Moving through the alien ship was difficult. They had to hide several times as other aliens passed by. Velnera led them down narrow corridors that seemed to change shape as they walked. Finally, they reached a small room with several pod-like ships inside. These are emergency shuttles, Velnera explained. I've programmed one to take us to Earth. We must hurry. Alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship. A voice spoke in the alien language, and Velnera's skin turned pale. They know I've helped you escape. Drakmor has ordered the ship to lock down. They ran to the nearest shuttle. As the door closed behind them, they saw armed aliens entering the bay. Velnera quickly pressed symbols on a control panel, and the shuttle shot out of the ship into space. Can they follow us? Kate asked, looking out a small window at the stars. Yes, but I've masked our trajectory. We have a small head start. The shuttle shook violently as something hit it from behind. They're firing on us, Frank shouted, grabbing onto a handrail. The shuttle's shields won't hold for long, Velnera said, her hands flying over the controls. We need to enter Earth's atmosphere quickly. The shuttle dropped toward Earth like a falling stone. Outside the windows, the darkness of space turned to fiery red as they hit the atmosphere. The small ship shook harder, pieces breaking off as they fell. We're coming in too fast, Velnera shouted. With a deafening crash, the shuttle hit the ground. Frank's head smacked against the wall, and everything went black. When he woke up, Frank was lying in grass. The shuttle had broken into pieces around them. Kate was beside him, a cut on her forehead, but otherwise okay. Velnera was trying to salvage equipment from the wreckage. Where are we? Frank asked, sitting up slowly. Wyoming, I think, Kate said, looking at the mountains in the distance. Middle of nowhere. A dog started barking. They turned to see a man and a young woman walking toward them. The man held a shotgun, but it was pointed at the ground. You folks all right? He called. Saw something fall from the sky. Frank stood up carefully, trying to hide Velnera behind him. But it was too late. Dad, that's not a human, the young woman said, pointing at Velnera. The man raised his shotgun slightly. What in God's name? Please, Frank said, stepping forward with his hands up. We're not a threat. We need help. I'm Sheriff Greg Peterson, the man said, his eyes never leaving Velnera. This is my daughter Lily. I'm Frank Donovan. This is Kate Walsh. And yes, our friend is not from Earth. We need to reach the government immediately. Earth is in danger. Greg looked at the wreckage of the alien shuttle, then back at Velanera. After a long moment, he lowered his gun. My truck's just over the hill. Let's get your friend covered up before someone else sees her. As they walked to the truck, Lily kept staring at Velanera with wide eyes. Is your whole planet coming here? She asked. Yes, Velanera said grimly, but not as friends. The Confederation thinks humans are too dangerous to join the galactic community. We have very little time to change their minds. High above Earth, Commander Drakmore watched as his ship joined the growing Confederation fleet. His cybernetic implants glowed as he received new data. The scanner readout showed Earth's military capabilities, communication networks, and population centers. The Council has given us 3 Earth days to find the defector and the humans, his second-in-command reported. Then we begin containment procedures. Drakmore's face showed no emotion. Find them. The fate of the galaxy may depend on it. Sheriff Greg's truck bounced along the dirt road. Velanera sat in the back seat, covered with a blanket. Her alien features were hidden, but her 4 eyes watched the passing landscape with wonder. I've called in some favors, Greg said, glancing at Frank. Got a friend in the military who can get us to the right people. No aliens, no crashed spaceships, just a straight line to someone who might believe you. How far are we from the nearest city? Kate asked. About 2 hours to Cheyenne. My friend will meet us there. Lily kept turning around to look at Velanera. Can I ask you something? Why can't your people hurt humans? Is it like a rule or something? Not a rule, Velanera explained. Something in our biology. When we try to harm humans directly, we feel what they would feel. The pain becomes our pain. Like super empathy, Lily said, nodding. Yes, exactly. And it seems strongest with children and those who themselves have strong empathy. Greg's phone rang. He answered it, his face growing serious as he listened. Change of plans, he said after hanging up. Military planes have been scrambled all over the country. Something big is happening in the sky. The Confederation fleet, Velanera said grimly. They're making their presence known. Instead of driving to Cheyenne, Greg took them to a small airfield where a woman in a lab coat waited beside a helicopter. That's Dr. Elaine Bennett, Greg explained. She's a neurologist who studies empathy, and she has clearance to get us to a secure facility. Dr. Bennett shook their hands quickly. The government is in chaos right now. Alien ships are appearing all over the globe. I've been called to a research facility to help understand what's happening. When Greg called, I thought you might have answers. She stared at Velanera, and I see that you do. The helicopter took them to a large compound hidden in the mountains. Inside, soldiers ran in all directions. Screens showed images of massive alien ships hovering over major cities worldwide. They're not attacking yet, a general said as they were led into a secure room. Just watching. They've jammed most of our communications, but they've made no aggressive moves. They're waiting for orders from the Council, Velanera explained. They want to see if Drakmore can find us first. Dr. Bennett connected sensors to Frank's and Kate's heads. I want to measure this empathic field you mentioned. After several tests, Dr. Bennett looked excited. It's real. Humans do generate an empathic field, but it varies in strength from person to person. She asked Lily to participate in the tests. The readings from the young woman were much stronger than from the adults. Children and teenagers show the highest readings, Dr. Bennett explained. This might explain why most adults find it hard to harm children, even across different cultures. But why did humans develop this trait? The general asked. Velanera answered, I believe it evolved as a defense mechanism. Early humans were not the strongest or fastest creatures, but they were social. This ability would help them survive among predators and compete with stronger species. Can it be used as a weapon against the aliens? The general asked. Not a weapon, Frank said, but maybe a shield. Kate looked at the screens showing the alien ships. If we could amplify this empathic field somehow, broadcast it to all the ships, it might increase the inhibition effect. Velnera finished. Make it even harder for them to attack Earth. Dr. Bennett nodded slowly. We could modify satellite arrays to broadcast brainwaves, but we'd need powerful sources. Would I work? Lily asked quietly. Everyone turned to look at her. You said kids have stronger fields. I want to help. Before anyone could answer, alarms blared throughout the facility. We have incoming aircraft, a soldier reported. Not one of ours. Moving too fast to intercept. On the security cameras, they watched as a sleek alien ship landed outside the facility. Soldiers surrounded it, weapons ready. The ship's door opened, and a tall figure stepped out. Unlike Velnera, this alien had metal parts built into its body. Its eyes glowed with an unnatural light. Drakmor, Velnera whispered. He's been enhanced to resist the inhibition. How did he find us? Greg asked, checking his shotgun. The crash site, Velnera said. They must have traced the shuttle's energy signature. The security feed showed Drakmor raising his hand. The soldiers nearest to him suddenly dropped their weapons, clutching their heads in pain. He has weapons we can't fight. Frank said, we need to get Lily and Velnera out of here now. Greg turned to his daughter. Stay with them. I'll buy you some time. Dad, no, Lily cried. But Greg was already heading for the door, his face set with determination. Sometimes a father's job is to protect his child, no matter what. Greg moved quickly through the hallways, shotgun ready. Behind him, Frank led the others toward the emergency exit at the back of the facility. This way, Dr. Bennett said, swiping a keycard through a reader. The door opened to reveal a narrow tunnel. Lily stopped, tears in her eyes. We can't just leave my dad. He's buying us time, Kate said gently. The best thing we can do is use that time well. Outside, Drakmor's soldiers spread through the facility. Unlike normal Silveri, these soldiers had metal devices attached to their heads. The machines blocked the inhibition, allowing them to attack humans. Greg fired his shotgun, hitting one alien in the chest. The alien stumbled but didn't fall. Their armor was too strong for human weapons. This is Sheriff Greg Peterson, he called out. You boys picked the wrong planet to mess with. Drakmor stepped forward, his cybernetic eyes glowing. Where is the defector Velnera? Tell me, and your death will be quick. Don't know what you're talking about, Greg said, firing again. The shot hit Drakmor's shoulder, but barely damaged him. The alien commander raised his hand, and Greg felt a terrible pain in his head. Your primitive weapons cannot harm me, Drakmor said. My enhancements block your empathic field. Now, where are the others? Greg smiled through the pain. They're long gone, and they're going to stop you. Across the world, the alien ships began their attack. They targeted military bases and communication centers first. The president ordered all available forces to defend major cities, but Earth's weapons seemed useless against the alien technology. In a hidden bunker beneath the Rocky Mountains, Frank, Kate, Velnera, Lily, and Dr. Bennett joined military leaders and scientists. The satellite network is ready, a technician reported, but we don't know if this will work. Dr. Bennett looked at the brain scan results on her screen. The empathic field is strongest during moments of connection and self-sacrifice. If we can amplify Lily's field and broadcast it through the satellite network, it might affect the alien fleet. Will it hurt her? Frank asked, concerned. No, but it will be mentally exhausting, like running a marathon with your mind. Lily stepped forward. I want to do it. Dad sacrificed himself for us. I want to help. They set up the equipment. Lily sat in a special chair, surrounded by machines. Sensors were attached to her head. Think about connections, Dr. Bennett instructed. Family, friends, people you care about. Think about protecting them. As Lily closed her eyes, her brain waves appeared on the screen. The technicians worked to amplify the signal and sent it through the satellite network. In space, the Confederation fleet continued their attack. Inside one of the ships, a Silvery gunner suddenly dropped his controls. He felt a wave of emotion wash over him. Fear, love, the desire to protect others. His hand shook as he tried to follow orders to fire on a human city below. "What's happening?" the ship's captain demanded. I can't," the gunner said. "The inhibition is too strong." Across the fleet, similar scenes played out. The aliens felt the amplified empathic field from Lily, making it almost impossible for them to continue their attack. In the command ship, the Council representative received urgent messages from throughout the fleet. "The human empathic field has been amplified," an officer reported. "Many crews cannot function." "Use the automated systems," the representative ordered. "Drakmore's team will find the source and destroy it." Back at the mountain facility, Drakmore's soldiers had captured Greg. Though badly injured, he was still alive. "The old human is strong," a soldier reported. "His mind resists our scans." Drakmore studied Greg with curiosity. "Why fight so hard to protect others? It is not logical." Greg coughed, blood on his lips. "That's what you don't understand about humans. We protect our own." "Bring him," Drakmore ordered. "He will lead us to the others, willing or not." In the bunker, the satellite network was working, but the aliens had switched to automated weapons systems that weren't affected by the empathic field. "We need something more," Frank said, watching the reports of continuing attacks. Velnera suddenly looked up from the computer she was studying. "I've discovered something important about the inhibition. It's not one way. The connection works both ways." "What do you mean?" Kate asked. "Just as we feel your emotions, you might be able to feel ours, maybe even send thoughts back through the connection." The bunker doors shook as Drakmore's soldiers tried to break in. Frank and Kate helped move Lily to a safer room deeper inside the facility. "How long can those doors hold?" Kate asked. "Not long enough," the general answered. "We need to keep the broadcast going while we evacuate." Dr. Bennett checked Lily's vital signs. "She's stable, but pushing her brain this hard is risky." In the monitor room, they watched as Drakmore dragged Greg to the front of the soldiers. Greg's face was bruised, and he could barely stand. "Humans," Drakmore's voice came through the speakers. "Send out Velnera and the girl, or we will execute this man and then destroy your facility." Lily tried to stand. "That's my dad. I have to go out there." "No," Frank said firmly. "That's exactly what they want. Your empathic field is affecting their fleet. Without you, Earth has no defense." Velnera studied the readings on the screen. "The broadcast is working, but something unexpected is happening. The connection is growing stronger in both directions." "What does that mean?" Kate asked. "Some of the Silveri are starting to send thoughts back. I'm picking up confusion, questioning. They're beginning to doubt the Council's orders." The bunker shook as explosions hit the outer doors. "We don't have much time," the general said. "Dr. Bennett, what options do we have?" "If the connection works both ways," Dr. Bennett said slowly, "maybe we can show them the truth about humans. Not just our capacity for violence, but our capacity for love, sacrifice, and growth." Lily closed her eyes again. "I want to try something. I want to send them my memories, what it feels like to be human." "It could overwhelm your mind," Velnera warned. "I have to try," Lily insisted. "For my dad." Dr. Bennett adjusted the equipment. "Focus on your strongest memories, moments of connection, love, and sacrifice." Lily concentrated. As her brain waves changed, something remarkable happened. The screens showing the alien fleet revealed that many ships had stopped attacking. Some were even withdrawing from Earth's atmosphere. Through the bunker's cameras, they saw some of Drakmore's soldiers removing their inhibitor devices. They fell to their knees, overwhelmed by the emotions flowing through the connection. Drakmore himself seemed to struggle, his cybernetic enhancements flickering as they tried to block the powerful empathic field. What is happening? He demanded, looking at his failing troops. On the communications channel, voices from the Confederation fleet reported similar situations. Many Silveri were refusing to continue the attack. In the bunker, Velnera gasped as she looked at new data on her screen. I found something incredible in the Confederation database. The Silveri and other species weren't always unable to harm humans. This was engineered into us. What do you mean? Frank asked. Thousands of years ago, the architects, the oldest species in the Confederation, modified all other advanced species. They removed most of our natural empathy, making us easier to control. But they couldn't predict humans, who evolved separately. So the inhibition is actually the natural state? Kate asked. The normal reaction to harming another intelligent being. Yes, Velnera said. And prolonged exposure to human empathic fields seems to be reawakening this natural capacity in my people. Outside, Greg saw the confusion among the alien soldiers. Despite his pain, he smiled. See that? That's humanity's real strength. Not our weapons or technology. It's what's in our hearts. Drakmor grabbed Greg. What trickery is this? How are you affecting my soldiers? Not a trick, Greg said. Just the truth your leaders tried to hide. Inside the bunker, Lily suddenly opened her eyes. I can feel them all. Not just their thoughts, but their histories. The architects lied to everyone about why humans needed to be destroyed. They're afraid of us because we can undo their control. On screens around the world, the Confederation ships were withdrawing. Many of Drakmor's soldiers had laid down their weapons, removing their inhibitor devices. We need to reach the command ship, Velnera said urgently. The architect representative is still pushing for Earth's destruction using fully automated systems. If we can get aboard and expose the truth to the entire Confederation. How do we get to a ship in orbit? The general asked. Velnera pointed to the camera showing Drakmor's ship outside. We take that one. Frank looked at Kate, then at Lily, who was still connected to the broadcasting equipment. We'd need a team. And someone who can maintain the empathic broadcast. Drakmor's ship rose through Earth's atmosphere, heading toward the massive Confederation command vessel in orbit. Inside, Frank, Kate, Velnera, and Lily sat in the main cabin. Greg Peterson lay on a medical bed nearby, his wounds treated by Silveri technology. He will recover, Velnera assured Lily, who held her father's hand. Several Silveri who had removed their inhibitors helped pilot the ship. Drakmor himself was secured in a holding cell, his cybernetic enhancements disabled. The command ship is hailing us, one of the Silveri pilots announced. Answer it, Velnera said. But don't mention we have humans aboard. A stern alien face appeared on the screen. Commander Drakmor, report your status. Why have you left the surface? Frank whispered to Velnera. They don't know he's been captured. The pilot is using Drakmor's access codes, she whispered back. They think he's still in command. The pilot answered in Drakmor's voice, using a voice modifier. Critical information discovered. Request immediate meeting with the architect representative. After a pause, the command ship responded. Docking Bay 3 is open for your arrival. As they approached the massive ship, Lily looked out the window at Earth below. It's beautiful from up here. Hard to see all the borders and differences that seem so important on the ground. The ship docked inside the command vessel. Before the doors opened, Velnera turned to the humans. The architect will be heavily guarded. We must reach the main communications center to broadcast the truth to the entire Confederation fleet. How do we get past the guards? Kate asked. The empathic field, Velnera said, looking at Lily. Without inhibitors, most Silveri will be unable to stop us. Lily nodded, understanding. I'm ready. They moved through the command ship's corridors. As they encountered Silveri guards, something amazing happened. The guards looked at the humans, raised their weapons, then lowered them, unable to fire. The inhibition is working, Frank said quietly. They can't hurt us. They reached the main communication center. Inside, a being unlike any they had seen before stood watching displays showing Earth. Unlike the Silveri, this being had golden skin and 6 arms. It showed no reaction as they entered. An architect, Velnera whispered. They evolved without natural empathy. The inhibition doesn't affect them. The architect turned slowly. Velnera, you have betrayed the Confederation by bringing humans here. Its voice was cold and emotionless. No, Velnera replied. You betrayed all species by modifying them without consent, removing their natural empathy to make them easier to control. A necessary evolution, the architect said. Empathy is inefficient. It prevents logical decisions. It also prevents needless destruction. Greg said, limping into the room supported by Kate. And sometimes the most logical decision is to protect life, not destroy it. The architect pressed a button, and alarms sounded. The humans will be destroyed. Their influence is too dangerous. Automated weapons emerged from the walls. Frank pushed Lily behind him, but the weapons didn't fire. The Silveri who had entered the room stood confused, unable to give the command to fire. Your soldiers can't harm us, Frank said. And soon the whole Confederation will know why. Velnera rushed to the communication controls. Lily. Now. Lily stepped forward, closed her eyes, and concentrated. Velnera connected her to the ship's communication system, broadcasting her empathic field throughout the Confederation fleet. The effect was immediate. Throughout the ship, Silveri stopped following orders. Many removed their uniforms and insignia as the artificial blocks on their natural empathy crumbled under the human connection. The architect moved to stop them, but Greg stepped in its way. You've lied to them long enough. On screens around the room, they could see the reaction across the fleet. Ships were standing down. The attack on Earth had completely stopped. What have you done? The architect demanded, its voice showing emotion for the first time. Fear. Something you forgot long ago, Lily said, opening her eyes. Connection is stronger than control. Velnera addressed the entire Confederation through the communication system. For centuries, we've been told humans are dangerous because of their violence and emotion. The truth is, they're dangerous to the architect's control because they show us what we've lost. Our natural capacity to feel, to connect, to care for others. The architect tried once more to activate the automated weapons, but Silveri officers entered the room and restrained it.